So in the last video, we learned how to write an equation in slope-intercept form when we're given the slope and a point. Now let's see how to do it if we're not even given the slope. We're just given 2 points. And hopefully you are immediately remembering our formula for finding slope from 2 points. If you don't remember it, here it is. The slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when we're given 2 points, we can easily find the slope by using this formula. And so the first thing that we need to do is look at our coordinates that we're given and identify which one's going to be our x1 and y1 and which one's going to be our x2 and y2. Doesn't matter which is which. So I'm just going to call the first one x1 and the second one y1, and this is going to be x2 and y2. Doesn't matter. So our slope here is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so 4 minus 1 is 3, 2 minus 3 is negative 1, and 3 divided by negative 1 is 3. So there's our slope, negative 3. Right. Now we need the y-intercept. So as we learned in the previous video, if you don't have the y-intercept but you have a point, we can use y equals mx plus b and just plug in an x, a y, and the m, and then solve for b. So let's go ahead and replace the m with the negative 3 that we just found. For x and y, we've got two choices. We can use 3 and 1, or we can use 2 and 4. It doesn't matter which one we use. I'm going to use 2 and 4 just because. Literally does not matter. In some cases, it matters because if we had like one x and y that had a fraction and the other one didn't, or one had a decimal or a negative and the other one didn't, we'd want to avoid the unpleasant one. But in this case, they're both nice whole numbers, so it doesn't matter. We'll use 4 and 2 just because. If you use 1 and 3, I assure you, you will get the exact same answer. So let's replace our values here, and away we go. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. We'll add 6 to both sides using the addition property of equality. Equality, and our intercept is going to be 10. Okay, so our slope is negative 3. Our b was 10. So the full equation for this is going to be y equals negative 3x plus 10. Piece of cake. Okay, let's do one more of these, and let's do one that does use some of those less pleasant numbers, some of those negatives. We have 2 points, so again, we start off the same way by finding slope. We're going to label our x1, y1, and x2, y2. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We got some minus negatives in here. So negative 6 minus negative 2 is the same thing as negative 6 plus 2, which is negative 4. And then on the bottom, negative 5 minus negative 4 is the same thing as negative 5 plus 4, which is negative 1. And negative 4 divided by negative 1 is going to give us 4. So the value of our slope, our m value, is going to be 4. Okay. So now we can do y equals mx plus b. We're going to replace our m with that 4 that we just found. And so we're going to replace our x and y with one of these two coordinates. Again, it doesn't matter because both of these are pretty unpleasant. Negative 4, negative 2, and negative 5, negative 6, all negative numbers, so there's no avoiding the negatives. I don't know that I can put into words why, but I feel just in my heart that the even numbers are just going to be more pleasant to use. I don't know if that's true or not, but I find myself strangely drawn to the even numbers rather than the odds. Maybe just because those are a little lower. It really doesn't matter. Just for some reason, I just feel like I want to use the even numbers here, so that's what I'll use. Again, you will get the same answer no matter which pair you pick. It doesn't matter. But we'll go ahead and replace our x and y there. And then we just need to do some quick solving. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And then we've got addition property of equality, just like before. Add 16 to both sides. And negative 2 plus 16 is going to give us 14. So now we have all the pieces that we need. We discovered that the slope was 4. The y-intercept is 14. And so that means that our full equation is y equals 4x plus 14. All those negative numbers, and we ended up with a positive slope and a positive y-intercept. How about that? So if we're given 2 points and asked to write something in slope-intercept form, we can still do it. We just have to do the slope formula first, and then after we have the slope, we follow the same process of before of plugging in a coordinate pair for the x and y, and then solving for b.